Coming to you live from the palatial studios of PBJ Productions. Welcome to Patrick and BJ Talk Real Estate, where we talk about life, the universe, and everything as it relates to real estate. Hey everybody, it's BJ.
And Patrick.
And we're here talking all things real estate. And today, whether you've seen it or not, today we're at one of my listings, which is a craft brewery in Duncan. If you have any interest in something like that, certainly reach out to me and I'm happy to help out. But otherwise, Patrick, we're here talking all things real estate.
Yeah, so we're going to do a quick market update right now. And despite what some of the headlines might be saying, the market is good. It's not a crazy, furious, run off your feet market like it was during COVID, where you had to react instantly or you'd be losing or even competing at that time.
Right.
But it's a pretty good market right now. I'm looking at, we're not quite at the end of the month, but I don't need to wait for somebody else to tally up the numbers for me.
Sure.
And report back to you with everybody else regurgitating what's happening. We can see what's happening. We have an absorption rate of about 25% of our overall inventory.
Okay.
Our inventory is slowly growing.
Okay.
So from the previous month, we had about 1,800 listings listed. Now we're about a little over 2,000.
Right.
And of course, it's not the end of the month tally yet, but I expect about the 25% absorption rate. But there's more.
Okay.
I looked up the single family homes. Right now there's about 214 pending sales from the beginning of this month to now.
Okay.
About 25% of them have sold for full price or more. And the listings to the sale price, so the last, even if you had to adjust the price of a home, maybe that that was maybe a little too ambitious. Maybe it was the Prince Charming price like you usually say, right?
Yeah.
And then the price has been adjusted. That's the last price being advertised. That's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
So full price or more, about 25% of the total sales.
Okay.
So it is active. If you're looking for something and everybody else is looking for that same thing, if it's a 3-bedroom house, all 3 bedrooms upstairs, or a 4th bedroom, or house with a suite, these are going to be in high demand.
Yeah.
So that's I don't want to bore people with every single, here's what these numbers are, because they're specific.
Yeah.
When you look at a property, if you live in Sydney or Souk, it's going to be a different story. So this is a very high-level view of what's happening in the Greater Victoria area.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I would say just over the last several weeks with my clients is, we're not, the things that we've looked at that fit kind of what my clients are looking for hasn't stayed around long.
Right, so they're looking for what more than one other person is looking for also. Yeah.
So, what that tells us is kind of what we've said from the start, that, the world is not ending and the market isn't falling apart. And, I think we're slowly starting to see a little bit of, slowdown in the price reductions and starting to see it kind of maybe heading the other way a little bit, where things might end up over the asking price.
Well, many of those 25% of the sales that are full price or more, many of them are over. A lot of times, not by a whole lot. Let's say it's $999.
Yeah.
It might sell for $1,005,000, $1,010,000, $1,050,000. But it's not the $100,000, $200,000 over the asking price.
Yeah.
I think I saw 1 or 2 examples out of all of those listings that were like that.
Right.
A lot of the times it was like 99% of the listing price sale.
Yeah.
So if it's $999, it was like $990.
Yeah.
$995.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still, like, strong offers were coming forward.
Yeah. That would make sense with what I've been seeing with my clients in the last, I would say the last 3 weeks for sure.
Yeah.
In the same sense where, whether it's something that we've written on or we've seen, others write on, where the selling price has been just under the asking or at the asking price. So.
Yeah. So that's typical. So if you're out there looking, or you're looking at buying soon, this is what to expect.
Yeah. And I think the other thing we want to add to that is now we're heading to what is traditionally the busiest time in the market, right? So spring is traditionally the time where the market is the busiest, and I think we're going to see some of that happen as well in the coming months.
I'm glad you brought that up because we were already talking about this more than a month ago. Like, have we hit rock bottom? All of the data is pointing to a recovery already. Like, it's been a quick drop. We had, a significant drop from last year.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I think we found the bottom already. So I don't want to say I told you so, but we've been talking about this for at least a month, 6 weeks ago in different reports.
Yeah.
And now I think in previous times where the market's been really hot, you could almost see an early spring market would start happening as early as February, as long as the weather was good. And then by the time spring break, the kids' spring break, end of March, now we're into full swing, spring break, the busiest time of year.
Sure.
Because it's such an unusual year, I wonder if we're going to pick up in summer. I wonder if we're going to just take it steady all the way through summer.
It's certainly possible. I mean, we were kind of like that for post-COVID, right?
Post-COVID,
It was probably, was it May that it suddenly just, it seemed to me like May of 2021, where it just suddenly bang and we took off again.
Yeah, I think, what did we have? Oh, so 2020 with COVID, we were like 8 weeks, and then we were designated essential services.
Yeah.
And then everybody started opening up their doors again, and we started having protocol on how to show home safely, how to be clean, how to all the questionnaires that we had to do. I hope we never have to do that again.
Yeah.
To put people through that, put ourselves through that, our clients through that. So, and then all of a sudden, it was like a rocket ship.
Yeah.
Oh, if you look at, now I'm going to get carried away with the old stats. That 8-week period during spring, we were missing, typically from like the 10-year averages, 900 sales. So to me, it was like a slingshot or pendulum, holding 900 sales back from the marketplace, and then all of a sudden throwing fuel on that demand.
Right.
And that's what.
Bang.
Yeah, hindsight is 2020. That's how I can explain it.
Yeah. So, I think we're going to continue, just like you said. I think we're going to continue to see things start to pick up. It's kind of like maybe think of it this way. It's kind of like the big ship that's not turning on a dime, but it's turning, right?
Yeah.
And the motors are starting to rev up to get going in the direction that it's turning to. So, I think we can say that our expectation is just what we said from the start, that the market is going to continue to get better. And if you are in a position where you want to sell your home or you're in a position to buy, this is the time still to buy and to sell, for that matter.
Interest rates are holding steady. That gives us some stability and confidence to both buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
And depending on which mortgage company, which bank we're looking at, they're starting to run specials. I'm sure it's very dependent on the client and the property conditions, but
credit rating and all those things.
All of those wonderful things, right?
Debt service ratios.
Yeah.
And so
but they are
forth.
running specials on different products. If it's a 2-year, 3-year fixed terms, those kind of things.
Right. Yeah. So that, in a nutshell, is our kind of synopsis of where we're at market-wise right now and what's going on. If you have any specific questions, certainly put them in the comments, or you can reach out to us directly. Our contact information is in the description there, and we can answer any of those questions, or we can help you out directly. And as we said, we're here today in Small Block Brewery in Duncan, which is a craft brewery that I have listed right now. If you have any interest in finding out about that, also reach out to me, and I'm happy to bring you through for a personal tour. And you can also catch the video we did while we're here of taking you through the business as well. But otherwise, you know what? Thank you for joining us today. And just to reiterate, I think what we're saying is, the world is not ending, right?
It's not ending, and I'd encourage you to take a look at the brewery video. I'll put the link to that video in the description and in the comments somewhere. I'll make sure it's easy to find for you. I don't know, looking at the brewery, looking at the vats and the kiln or whatever it might be called, right?
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's fascinating.
That's pretty cool.
I like all of that, right?
very
Following
cool.
the lines.
Yeah.
How does this fit with this? Anyways, I encourage you to have a look. We look at what's behind the brewery and what makes it work. So anyhow, thank
Yeah.
you for joining us in this video. We will see you in the next one.
See you.